The Medical Butcher: How a Respected Nigerian Surgeon Became a Serial Killer.
It began with whispers.
The kind of whispers that shiver through hospital hallways, born of uncertainty, fear, and the unexplained absence of people who were once patients. At first, they were dismissed. People disappear all the time. But when the body of a young woman was found buried beneath a hospital floor, those whispers turned into screams. What followed was a revelation so horrifying, so impossible to imagine, that it would leave a community shaken, a profession scarred, and a nation stunned. Dr. Abbas Adeyemi, an orthopedic surgeon from Offa in Kwara State, Nigeria, was a man of many titles. A highly trained specialist, a chief medical director,
A community role model. Patients trusted him with their lives.
families greeted him with gratitude.
His colleagues respected his knowledge.
But hidden beneath the white coat and calm demeanor was a monster, one who killed not once, not twice, but possibly hundreds of times. Dr. Abbas was in charge of Kaiama General Hospital, a government facility meant to serve as a haven for the sick. To most, it was just that. But to some, especially those who entered his office and never returned, it became a graveyard. For years, he preyed on his patients. People who came in seeking care and left as corpses, their bodies hidden in walls, floors, and shallow graves. The air in Kaiama was thick with heat and dust, as usual. Children laughed in the distance, market women haggled over tomatoes, and the call to prayer echoed faintly through the rustling trees. Life moved on in the quiet Kwara town, peaceful, uneventful. But beneath this calm beat the pulse of a monster hiding in plain sight. It was the disappearance of 23-year-old Nafisat Haladu that finally pulled the thread holding everything together. A bright young nurse with soft brown eyes and a future as wide as the horizon, she had just been promoted to a senior role at Kaiama General Hospital, where she also worked under the highly respected chief medical director, Dr. Abbas Adeyemi. She had spoken excitedly about her promotion the night before she vanished. She had even posted a selfie on WhatsApp, her last. For months, her family searched. The police shrugged it off. Young girls run off all the time, they said. But Zainab Haladu, Nafisat's older sister, refused to give up. She filed reports, knocked on doors, and confronted hospital staff. Most looked away. Some whispered. Others just said, "Talk to the CMD." But Dr. Abbas always smiled. She said she was taking a break, he told them. We all need rest.
Except Nafisat never came back.
Dr. Abbas was a man of brilliance, born in Offa, trained in Lagos, and praised across Nigeria. An orthopedic genius with steady hands and a polished accent, he was the hospital's pride. He drove a black Land Cruiser, dressed sharply, and spoke at medical conferences. But behind the closed doors of his office, behind the glass shelves of surgical tools and anatomy charts, he was building something darker. Something bloody. At first, the deaths were scattered. A motor accident victim here. A sick child there. People die in hospitals. It's not unusual. But soon, patterns emerged. Some patients never left. Their families were told they absconded. Others were found in shallow graves behind the facility. When the police were finally called, it was a frightened junior doctor named Dr. Samuel Otash who broke the silence. I saw blood in the CMD's office, he whispered, eyes darting. He said it was a surgery, but there was no patient name. No record. And the tiles were new. It wasn't just blood. When the officers stormed Dr. Abbas's office in a silent midnight raid, they found the floor freshly retiled. A faint smell of decay lingered. The tiles came up easily, and beneath them, Nafisat Haladu. Her body was curled, wrapped in a hospital bedsheet. Her fingernails were broken, her mouth wide open in a final, silent scream. They also found another woman. Then another. In custody, Dr. Abbas was eerily calm. He asked for tea. He adjusted his glasses. And then, as if discussing a routine surgery, he confessed. He had killed over 500 people, patients, staff, and strangers. Some for money, others for silence. He harvested organs, livers, kidneys, eyes, and sold them to a network of buyers, Muslim alphas, juju priests, and wealthy politicians desperate for spiritual power. He buried some of them under the floor, others in the compound. Some, he said, were cremated. The police found charred remains in a sealed-off storeroom marked biohazard. He also admitted to killing Dr. Kelechi, a cardiologist who grew suspicious, and Matronese, an elderly nurse who tried to report him in 2021. They were liabilities, he said.
The town erupted in horror. Crowds stormed the hospital.
The governor declared a state of emergency. But nothing could prepare the nation for what came next. A hidden room was discovered behind Dr. Abbas's office, a cold chamber, padded and soundproof. Inside were surgical tables, saws, labeled organ containers, and blood-stained walls. It was a slaughterhouse masquerading as a hospital wing. That room had witnessed unspeakable things. Among the chaos, Zainab Haladu collapsed.
Her sister was dead. Her trust shattered.
Her last memory of Nofisat was her laugh echoing through their small living room. Now, all she had was a corpse pulled from a concrete grave.
But Zainab was not alone.
A man named Imam Sool, whose daughter had gone missing after a routine surgery, identified her scarf from a police evidence photo. She had malaria. He wept. Just malaria. Then came Abdul Bashir, whose father's vehicle was found at a roadside mechanic shop in Ilorin, resold with forged papers signed by Dr. Abbas. A special investigation unit from Abuja was brought in, led by Inspector Miriam Tanimu, a mother who had lost her only child during a hospital visit years ago.
She had always believed something was wrong with that case.
Now, she was determined to expose everything, not just for justice, but for peace. Digging into Dr. Abbas's past revealed disturbing patterns. At the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, where he once trained, there were whispers, missing cadavers, untraceable surgeries, unexplained deaths.
But the cases were always buried. He was brilliant, his former professor said.
Brilliance blinds people. The investigation expanded.
Files from the last 5 years were pulled.
Hundreds of missing persons cases were traced back to the hospital. A local herbalist was arrested.
Then another.
Then a middleman claiming to be part of a supply network confessed to delivering human parts to a powerful religious sect in Ibadan. But despite the growing list of accomplices, some believed the full truth was still buried, maybe deeper than anyone dared dig.
How could a man run such an operation alone? Who protected him?
And more urgently, was he truly the only one? In prison, Dr. Abbas sat quietly.
He refused further interviews.
But he left a chilling note for the police, scribbled on hospital stationery.
You only found what I allowed you to find.
The rest is still working. To this day, no one knows what that meant. Was it a bluff, a threat, or a warning? To be continued in Part 2.
How far did Dr. Abbas's network truly reach? Are there others still practicing under the guise of healing?
And can Inspector Tanimu uncover the deeper rot hiding in Nigeria's health system before more lives are lost?